Hello,
All it
royal
takes
enthusiasts,
is one lone actor,
and welcome
one
to Meghan
person
and Harry
who
Tales
reads this
channel.
stuff
I am
to
your
act
host,
on what
Kelly.
they
Today,
have
we're
read.
going to delve into some
And whether
whispers
it's
that have been circulating
a
in the
knife
royal
or
grapevine.
acid,
It appears
whatever
that our
it is, and these are
beloved
things
Duke
that
and
are
Duchess
genuine
of
concern
Sussex,
for me.
Meghan
One
and
reason why I
Harry,
won't bring
may
my
be
wife back to
embarking
this
on a
country.
tour to Colombia. But hold your royal horses, because this is purely speculation at this point. People magazine hasn't confirmed this royal tour, neither has the Sussexes official website, so while it's entirely possible that the Sussexes could be packing their bags this month, we're still on the lookout for a solid confirmation from their spokesperson or the Colombian government. Now, if the Sussexes are indeed planning a tour, they might adopt a similar strategy to their Nigerian tour. Remember how they only confirmed the dates at the very last minute? That move, my friends, left the British media in a tailspin. And it's safe to say the British outlets, hungry for Sussex content, might have already started the process of applying for Colombian visas. Amidst all this anticipation, there's also a fair share of, shall we say, royal angst. The thought of the Sussexes travelling to a country that ensures their safety, unlike Britain, has caused quite a stir among palace courtiers. With Colombia offering VIP security to Harry and Meghan, it's no surprise that some have taken to throwing royal tantrums. The critics argue that the Sussexes' potential tour shows utter contempt for the king and traditional royal protocols. But let's be real here, folks. Harry and Meghan can't be expected to follow royal commands if they're outside the institution. It's either one or the other. And frankly, the fury isn't just directed at the Sussexes. There's a palpable resentment towards countries that refuse to ostracize Harry and Meghan. Stay tuned as we delve into the controversy this potential tour is stirring among the royal courtiers. Because, as we all know, when it comes to the world of royalty, there's never a dull moment. Welcome back, loyal followers. Let's plunge right into the heart of the matter. The Sussexes' much-anticipated tour of Colombia has whipped up quite a storm in the royal court. The palace courtiers, it seems, are less than thrilled about this independent venture. The critics aren't pulling any punches. The words utter contempt have been thrown around, suggesting a deep-seated resentment towards the Sussexes' decision to step away from traditional royal norms. The tour, according to these critics, is a blatant display of disregard for the king and his long-established ways of doing things. But here's the thing. The Sussexes aren't exactly part of the royal institution anymore, are they? They've stepped back from their royal duties and are carving out a path of their own. So should they still be expected to abide by the king's rules? The critics, it seems, want to have their cake and eat it too. On one hand, they're clamouring for Harry and Meghan to fall in line, to adhere to the king's commands. On the other hand, they're quick to distance themselves from the Sussexes, insisting they're no longer part of the royal institution. The message is muddled, to say the least. What's clear, however, is the mounting frustration within the royal court, and it's not just directed at Harry and Meghan. The courtiers are irked at the international recognition and respect the Sussexes continue to garner. Countries like Colombia, America, Canada and Kenya aren't shunning the Sussexes. Quite the opposite. They're rolling out the red carpet, treating them as global humanitarians, VIPs and A-listers. This, it seems, is a bitter pill to swallow for the royal courtiers. The Sussexes Colombia tour, then, isn't just a trip. It's a statement that they can and will do things their own way. And the world, it seems, is more than willing to embrace them. The courtiers' frustration, it seems, extends beyond the Sussexes themselves. As we continue our exploration, let's shift our focus from the palace to the international stage. The world watches with keen interest as Harry and Meghan navigate their unique path, often contradicting the traditional norms of the royal family. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex are not just British royalty, but global figures who have touched the hearts of millions. Their philanthropic endeavours have seen them travel to various parts of the world, spreading love, hope and compassion. Their status as global humanitarians and A-listers is undeniable, as is evidenced by the warm reception they receive wherever they go. This international recognition stands in stark contrast to the royal family's attempts to marginalise them. It's almost as if the wider world sees a different Harry and Meghan, one that is not clouded by the controversies and scandals often highlighted by the British media. Countries like Nigeria, Colombia, America, Canada, Kenya, the Netherlands and Germany have all embraced Harry and Meghan, further solidifying their global influence. These nations see the Sussexes for who they truly are, compassionate leaders using their platform to effect positive change. This global acceptance of the Sussexes doesn't sit well with the royal family. King Charles, in particular, is said to be in a rather uncomfortable position as he watches his son and daughter-in-law gain international popularity, contradicting his attempts to keep them at bay. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have proven that their influence is not confined to the British borders. Their message of love, compassion and humanitarianism resonates with people around the world, often overshadowing the negative narrative spun by their critics. Clearly, Harry and Meghan's influence reaches far beyond the confines of Britain. Their story serves as a reminder that true power lies not in titles and crowns, but in the ability to touch lives, inspire change and make the world a better place. In this segment, we turn our attention to the royal family's predicament. A king traditionally is seen as a figure of influence, a beacon of authority, and a symbol of unity. However, the current scenario presents a fascinating paradox. King Charles, despite his lofty position, seems to be grappling with a dilemma that he cannot resolve with imperial edicts or royal decrees. The crux of the issue lies in the Sussexes' international image, which remains robust and widely celebrated, despite the king's efforts to the contrary. Countries like Colombia, America, Canada, Kenya, the Netherlands and Germany, among others, continue to welcome Harry and Meghan with open arms, recognizing them as global humanitarians, VIPs and A-listers. This global perspective, which starkly contrasts the royal family's narrative, has not only created discord within the palace walls, but also cast a shadow on their global image. It's a classic case of a king wanting to control the narrative, but the world isn't buying it. Instead, it's the Sussexes narrative that's gaining traction, and that's causing a royal headache. King Charles's attempts to marginalise, ignore or snub the Sussexes have been met with resistance, not just from the Sussexes themselves, but also from the international community. It's a clear indication that the king's influence has its limits, and in this case, the boundaries are being drawn by the very people he's trying to influence. It's a rebuff that doesn't sit well with the royal pride. In the face of this, the king's dilemma deepens. Should he continue his futile attempts to control the Sussexes narrative and risk further damaging the royal family's global image? Or should he accept the changing dynamics and let the Sussexes carve their own path, something they've been doing quite successfully? It appears the king's power has its limits. The Sussexes story is a testament to the fact that even in the face of royal opposition, one can still rise and shine, and that's a narrative that's resonating worldwide. As we round off today's discussion, let's reflect on the bigger picture. The Sussexes' journey has been a remarkable one, a narrative that has broken away from the traditional confines of the royal family. Their independent actions and international recognition signify a new era in the royal narrative, one that's characterized by autonomy, global outreach, and a steadfast commitment to humanitarian causes. Now, let's talk about their success in carving out their path. Harry and Meghan haven't just stepped away from the royal fold. They've managed to create an entirely new narrative for themselves, one that's distinct, yet still connected to their royal roots. Their ability to navigate through the challenges they've faced and emerge stronger each time is nothing short of inspiring. They've shown that it's possible to break away from tradition and still maintain a sense of dignity and respect. This doesn't just have implications for Harry and Meghan. It's a wake-up call for the royal family and a sign that the traditional ways of doing things might need a bit of a shake-up. The Sussexes' journey has shown that the royal family isn't a monolith, but a collection of individuals, each with their own passions, ideas, and ways of doing things. This is a narrative that's more relatable, more human, and it's one that's resonating with people across the globe. Lastly, let's not forget the international recognition the Sussexes have received. From Nigeria to Colombia, from America to Canada, countries around the world are refusing to shun Harry and Meghan. Instead, they're embracing them as global humanitarians, VIPs, and A-listers. This is a testament to their influence and a sign that their message is being heard. Whether the tour happens this month or not, the Sussexes' influence continues to grow. They're not just rewriting their own story, they're reshaping the royal narrative as a whole. Thank you, loyal viewers, for joining us on this journey. Remember to hit that subscribe button and share the video with fellow royal enthusiasts. Leave a comment with your thoughts. Until next time, I am your host, Kelly, signing off.